Good morning. How are you? Tuesday, 27th of May. I don't know what the weather's like up here, but down here it's hot, humid, and rainy. Well, Donald's at it again. First off, stock market took off like I knew it would because he paused the tariffs on the EU until 9 July. That's a gain. And what amazes me is the people are too stupid to see what he's doing. He's manipulating the market, doing what he wants to do to make his friends money. They all know he's doing it. He tells them in secret. They go out and do whatever they're going to do through proxies or what have you, so that they can't be traced back to them right away. And they make billions of dollars. And the rest of us are sitting around trying to figure out how to make a car payment, you know? But that's just him. He's a scumbag. He's a cheat. He's a liar. I'd call him a thief, but I have no evidence of that, really. Of outright theft. But, you know, I'm sure he's done that at some point in time in his life. All right? Now he's going after... All right, that takes care of the money-grabbing asshole. Now he's trying to take $1 million in contracts away from Harvard. Now, I don't know what federal contracts they have with Harvard. I assume they're doing work for the U.S. government, so that means that whatever they're doing is not going to be done anymore. So, again, my hunch is that he's undermining some agencies in the United States, and some probably like space travel and whatnot, the agencies that need their information, and they're not going to be able to get it from Harvard, so I don't know where they're going to go get it now. But they sought out those contracts. I don't think Harvard sought them out. They're contracts with Harvard. They're independent. It's the government making deals with Harvard that they don't want to honor. Now I don't know whether you can sue them for breach of contract on that or not, you know, but I'm pretty sure you might be able to. I don't know whether they'll pay any attention to you if you do it, but I'm pretty sure you can do that, you know. I'd sue him for breach of contract. I'd also go Trump hunting, you know. I mean, really. I'd make sure that I dug up every dirty thing that man's ever done and put it on marquees across the country. Oh, man. Okay. So that's something I don't really know that much about, but it's just another thing he's doing. He keeps telling you how much money he's saving the U.S. government, and he turns around and it's costing millions of dollars. St. Louis is still waiting for FEMA. So, you know, you save money in one place and you're going to get destroyed someplace else. What he's doing right now is that making it almost impossible for the Republican Party to get elected dog catchers in most towns. There are places that love him and what he's doing. But these are people that are short-sighted. They're not looking at the long-term results, you know. And for me, I look at the long-term results because I've seen this guy in action before. You know, and I remember what he did before, and I remember what he did when he was running a casino, how he just buried it, you know. Maybe that's where the stealing went on. That would make sense. Well, I know he did it someplace. He just good. He's got 1,000 people covering up for him, so we're taking the blame or whatever you want him to do, you know. Pays him. Okay. Now, we all know that the Qatar or Qatar or however you pronounce that name actually played Trump when they gave him a plane. They gave him a 13-year-old plane that that had been in storage for the last 5 years because they couldn't sell it. They didn't want it. Don't know why. It looks beautiful on the inside, at least the pictures they showed on, you know, put up in the news and everything. It's a $400 million plane, maybe. Now, you have Donnie wants to convert that to Air Force One. Well, from what I understand, they basically have to strip that plane right down to the basics. You know, take everything out of the inside of it and start all over again with security features, communication features, and I don't know how many people the plane will be able to carry after all that weight's put into it, because it's not I don't think it's a real big plane. But, you know, basically Trump got played. They dumped it on him in form of a gift. And Trump is so stupid that he said, oh, wow, look at this plane, man. That's what I want, a palace in the air. You know, that's what I want. Well, I don't think it'll look quite that well when it's done, you know, but we'll see. It should only cost $1 to $2 billion to outfit the jet for use as an Air Force One, and it won't be ready for 2 years, at which point in time the Air Forces should get the other 2 jets from Boeing. So, you know, this is just a joke. If they got any sense, they'll cut that plane up and just, you know, use it for garbage. Or auction it. I would auction it. You know, with a reserve of 450 million. So he makes a little money on it anyhow. You know, so well, he'll make money on it no matter what. So all right, let's put it up with no reserve whatsoever. Let's see if he can get 400 million for it. He'll need that to pay some bill when he gets out because he doesn't have cash. He's not going to come out as one of the richest people in the world, I can tell you that. Assuming, now, his daughter might, out of this deal. I don't know. She's got to be making a ton of money off of him. But I don't know, you know. But speaking of people playing people at... considering people that have played Trump, Putin's doing a good job on him. With all this peace talk, and then he's out there committing atrocities and what have you in the Ukraine, bombing and everything else. And we're closer to World War III now than we've ever been because they're going to reinstate long-range missile firings into Russia. So that's closer to World War III than we were when Trump said, I'll end the war in a day. See, Trump forgets. Nobody listens to him. You know? Look, that's what's driving him crazy with Harvard. Harvard's something that he can, you know, punish, but he can't punish Putin. Putin doesn't care. You think China cares? No, they don't. China would love to see the U.S. and Russia go to war, and they just sit there and go out and pick over the survivors, you know? I don't know. I think that, itchy beard this morning. I think that he's not the politician everybody thinks he is. He's not the deal maker everybody thinks he is because of what's going on. People are playing this sucker, you know? And as far as I can tell, they're winning. Now, Trump's basically, where the Ukraine is concerned, Trump's basically throwing up his hands. Now, it'd be a wonderful deal if Europe could pull a deal out of that, you know, and show Trump not to be a schmuck rather than the genius everybody says he is. But I mean, this is a big failure for Donald because that was one of his, you know, big things during the campaign. The war would never have happened, and I could settle this war in a day. Well, I don't know whether it would have happened or not. That's, you know, that's conjecture. But I do tell you this, that he's not going to settle it, period, I don't think. From all appearances right now, it looks like it's going to be settled the good old-fashioned way, bullets. Okay. What else is happening? Well, the Canadians are boycotting the U.S., from a tourist standpoint, and I think a lot of other people are doing it too. you got Colombians that are afraid to go visit family because they're afraid they'll attract attention because the family's not legal. Uh, and I haven't seen a lot of Colombians getting deported, but they say they have a plane a week comes down here. Same with Cuba, they have a plane a week that goes there. I think it's a week that they go fly people to Cuba. Now there are some people that I don't know whether they got them all off the boat people. But you see the examples of that. The bad example of the boat people was in I can't remember the name of the movie, but I remember one famous line from it: "Say hello to my little friend," and all about the cocaine from these two guys that came in from Colombia on the boat. I mean Cuba on the boat, and this is it could be an ongoing problem. You don't hear much about it. I don't know how much investigation is done. I don't know how much problem Miami and Florida has with the Cuban population. I know the second largest Cuban population is in Dover, New Jersey, or Union City. Is it Union City, New Jersey? And then there's a big population in Dover, New Jersey, too, of Cubans. I just don't know how big a deal that is. If they're good people, who cares? I've worked with some great Latinos from Colombia, from Chile, Ecuador, some other South American countries, a couple of Mexican guys. I'll tell you how bad the border was back then. This is in the 70s. A kid, one of the guys I had working for me, goes home goes on vacation he's in the United States, and he goes on vacation or something, goes someplace, he gets picked up, he doesn't show up for work, and we're wondering, where is he? He was deported. He was illegally deported. And I said, he's not coming back. And that was his kids. That was 5 days. 7 days later, he's back. I said, how'd you get back? He says, I just walked across the border. It's no big deal. So, I understand you want tighter security in this country, but, the bad guys are going to get in no matter what. The good people have the trouble getting in, but the bad guys always get in. It's just the way it is, If you want to get in bad enough, you're going to get in. All right, there's nothing you can do to stop them. It's like if you want cocaine delivered to your door, there's nothing that's going to stop it from getting there. This is just what they do. They're good at it. It's a specialty of theirs, not just Latin Americans, but remember, look what they did in the French Connection. They would take a car apart and load the car up with cocaine or heroin, I think it was the drug of the choice coming out of France, and put it back together again, seamlessly, like it was just from the factory floor, like it had been assembled in the factory. And you had to, in order to find it, I mean, first of all they had to get a tip that somebody told them where to look and everything. And then they had to and they follow these people for a while, for like a year, I don't know how long. And then they had to take the car apart. That movie's true, by the way. Popeye Doyle was a real cop, so, it's a good movie to watch if you want to know how stuff gets into this country. I mean, people swallow heroin in condoms and walk across the border with it. There's just no stopping it from getting in. It's just a degree, And what they're doing nowadays is they're taking, like cocaine, they're taking pure cocaine or the cocoa paste, putting it in a condom, swallow it, you get 50 of them in, and you've got like 2 kilos of pure cocaine when you're done, from the cocoa paste, after it's cut and everything like that. And now you're looking at, it costs you $10,000 to do that. It costs that you get like $500,000 back, something like that, on the sale of the cocaine itself. That's what people don't understand. You know, it's like the thing that Colombia was known for. Now it grows a lot of its own cocaine, but co- Escobar got his cocaine out of Peru. It came in a paste, and then they refined it. Nowadays, I don't think they still, because they try to eradicate the cocaine, and the cocaine is an easy target, really. I think they still import paste from places, and then they go and convert it to a drug, and then it goes to the United States and it's cut even more, and it becomes extremely profitable. Extremely profitable, considering the amount of risk, especially if you're a first-time player in this field. You know, the risk is minimal. It's not, you know, the biggest risk comes from other cocaine dealers. So that's, you know, where the problem lies. All right, listen, I'm going shopping. Spend some money I don't have, like usual. And I will talk to you tomorrow.